what I really want to talk about is a podcast you got with Teddy. How did you originally meet Teddy? Because he's very well known in the boxing industry.
Yeah, a friend of mine who's the producer of the show, Rob Moore, was doing some PR for fighters, and he started out in traditional PR career path in New York City. He worked at a big PR agency, and then he moved out to California to work on his own, set up his own PR practice, and he was representing some fighters. And one of the fighters, Mike Lee, introduced him. Mike's dad, John Lee, introduced Rob to Teddy to help Teddy with some of his PR and career management stuff. And through that, they decided to launch a podcast. And my connection to Teddy was through my friend Rob, who I had originally introduced to Mike Lee. And he said, would you be interested in doing this with Teddy? Of course, I was like, yes. I mean, I love boxing. I love the UFC. And that's how I met him. We did a few episodes trial, and they worked out. And you can see that they've gotten progressively better as we've worked together.
And I see you all on Twitter. I listen to it every week. When I do the pot wash in the pub, I always listen to it. Kind of gets the hours through.
Yeah.
So how much preparation or revision did you do for the podcast each week? Because I always see Teddy's always got a lot of notes on his desk.
Yeah, I don't do as much as Teddy, but no one's looking for me to break down the fights and give the in-depth analysis that Teddy gives, right? So I watch the fights, I prepare for a few hours before the show and just go over my notes and see what's what. Because, God forbid you make a mistake and misspeak about something in the show. And it's like, it's always interesting to me, the clowns that take the time to point out other men's flaws. You have to ask yourself a question. What kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that recognizes a mistake and says, hey, buddy, just FYI, that guy was fighting for a title that, heads up, cool. Versus the dick who's like, oh, look at you, you made a mistake. It's like the classic example of Teddy Roosevelt's poem, The Man in the Arena. Are you the guy in the arena trying to get shit done and do things? Or are you the idiot on the outside pointing at, looking at how the guy in the arena might fail? Guess what? If you know you would succeed, would you even get in there and fight someone or do something that you knew you couldn't lose? People make mistakes. Are you the person who's building them up and encouraging them to try again? Hey, heads up, man. Keep doing what you're doing, but that's a mistake. Thank you. Or are you the idiot that's like, you suck? Guess what? The guy who's pointing out you suck, he sucks. Get something going in your life, man. Lift some people up. Stop being a jerk. No one likes you. No one likes that guy. People like people that support and encourage and uplift and spread love, not hate. Idiots. Anyway, I digress.
That poem was used a lot in the Conor Dustin Poirier trilogy in the build up to that. Yeah, I know. I always see in the comments, I always look at the comments of quite a lot of videos. I always see that they put the timestamps and they'll tweet about it. Well, that's the world of Twitter, Ken, for you. And what I really want to know, Teddy Atlas, he's got some really good analogies he always used when he talks about the fights. Go on here. He says, the taller fighter is like the skyscraper, and the shorter fighter wants to go in there and start smashing windows. Where does he get all these analogies from? How does he make them all up? Because he's got thousands of these.
Your guess is as good as mine. He's like an encyclopedia of boxing analogies and expressions and stories. I mean, he spent his life in gyms with old timers and boxers. And, when you spend that much time in a setting, you pick up a lot of information and knowledge. And I don't know. He's got a lot of them, and I enjoy every single one of them.